again. Got the coin to pass, have you? Isn't a healthy business environment just wonderful? Grog and his pathetic bridge give me just the little kick of competition I need to improve my service. And increase my prices.
Marge bats his eyelashes at you. You can't quite tell whether he's serious or not.
Oh, how sad.
His eyes light up with an avaricious little gleam, and he rubs his enormous hands together.
I suppose I can franchise out my bridge trolling system to an apprentice now. Oh, right. You were the one with that story. For that, you can pass for a pittance. Oh, so sorry for any confusion. It is, of course, a pay-per-use deal. My children have to eat, you know. Or would, if I had any. Which I could. Oh, that's not so nice. Not so nice at all.
Aren't you supposed to be off learning how to become the divine and whatnot? Well, aren't you industrious? It seems all the riffraff's back aboard as well. Ready to set sail when you are, Your Holiness. Fantastic. Now, on to the interesting part.
After many adventures, the party finally reached the place where Godwo can go to become divine. But more surprises and difficult choices awaited.
What's that, Quercus?
Here we are, the Nameless Isle. And here I thought Malady was unimaginative. Still, it's what's on the inside that counts, isn't that right? And this is the place you're meant to become a god. I can't help but wonder exactly what you intend to do with such a power. I have no doubt about that, but do remember, you can do what's good for you, too. All things in balance, you know. You'll want to hurry now. Divinity is waiting, after all. Excellent question. Normally, this place ought only to be known to Godwoken, but judging by the ships burning in the bay, there's been a breach, let's call it. Regardless of who's on the island, all that matters is who ascends. Make sure that's you. The strongest will survive and ascend. I'm hardly an expert on the matter, but I'm smart enough to put two and two together. Where there is an ocean of source, there is a well for drawing from it. To rise to divinity, you probably need to take a gulp. Though I'm sure it won't be that simple. You don't look very divine to me. What are you waiting for?
Look at that island, Quercus. Covered in forest. A true forest. Can you smell it? Over the stink of the water. Millennia of mulch. Those woods are ancient. Where better to find a clue about the Great Acorn? Some of those trees could even date back to the first forest. The Knights of Dre will never find us here. A perfect sanctuary to pause and complete our research. There's no rest for the wicked, Quercus. And even less for those out to save the world, it seems. Somewhere on this ancient isle, there must be a clue that will help us stop the Acorn. We must tread carefully. I'm sure such a wonderland will be dangerous, but at least it should be free from the Knights of Dre.
The cat leans into your palm, rubbing against you and almost unseating his small passenger.
Quercus, please have some dignity. I swear civility is dead. Anyway, we have something for your new best friend.
The squirrel reaches out and hands you a piece of bark, covered in tiny, scratched handwriting.
Something I discovered in your lizard friend's basement. She won't miss it, but use it well.
Gareth greets you warmly. He's oddly chipper, more chipper than you've ever seen him, and certainly more chipper than most people mourning dead loved ones.
I should thank you. I don't know what came over me. Praise Lucian, I had you to put me on the right track. Not bad. Took some time to think. My parents led good lives. I'd rather celebrate them for the love they gave me than to wail over their loss. Besides, we have work to do. Once we anchor at the Nameless Isle, I'll scout ahead, see if I can help locate the council and ease the way. I'll report to you on what I find. Right you are, right you are. Luckily, I've learned a few lessons, and as you know, I've a pretty good punch.
Gareth winks farewell and hums to himself. You don't recognize the tune, but you imagine it to be a hymn praising Lucian.
You must at this place, sorcerer. I don't want to linger a moment longer than necessary.
Tread carefully, my dear. Those are black ring banners that I spy on the shore. I studied the tablet that you so generously provided. It showed me everything I need to know about creating a functional Swornbreaker. Once I have that, I'll be free of the Covenant. And free to spend the rest of my days with Mahalli. See those structures further inland? Remarkably like those from the caverns of the Black Pits, aren't they? Should you discover the parts needed for a Swornbreaker, please bring them to me. I'll make it worth your while. Also, you will likely encounter sworn followers of the God King on that island, I suspect. I would avoid combat if possible. Death can be less than final for them, if the God King wills it.
Almira doesn't respond right away. Instead, she turns and gazes intently at the island. After a long moment, she finally speaks.
I sense a familiar presence. The Sallow Man. Yes. He's there somewhere. Likely commanding Black Ring forces. You should seek him out. He's a foul creature, but not opposed to cutting a deal. Beware his underlings, though. If they challenge your presence, pose as a thrall of mine, and you should gain safe passage. My name should still command respect among them.
Quite a journey I've found myself on with you. Is this where it ends, I wonder? Dangers indeed. You can almost hear the sounds of battle when the wind shifts correctly. And where there's battle, there's bound to be mercenaries. Glechu Duma, the words of the lone wolves. No doubt my former comrades will have them in their employ. Speak their words, and you might pass. Speak their words, and you might pass. Consider it a token of my thanks for the assistance in retrieving anathema. Pursuit of my interests has led me to fall in with some disreputable company in my time. For a short while, one such group was the Black Ring. I know, not something to be proud of, but they let me do as I wished, so desperate they were for aid after the Deathfall cut them down to size. A fine arrangement, until they started preaching about this God King and his infernal covenant.
He snorts derisively.
The last thing this world needs is another would-be god, and an army of fools willing to follow him. It's a sop to all the fools who think that someone will grant them power and immortality in return for loyalty. This God King has caused to make war with the Seven, and the Covenant is how he's gathered his army. They become sworn, as it was put to me, bound to serve, die, and be reborn for the God King for as long as he wishes. Then, at some ill-defined point in the future, they think they'll be rewarded. You should have seen them all, on their knees, worshipping a new tyrant just to spite 7 old ones. I got away from them while I still could. Unfortunately, Dallas was waiting to snatch me. There's a clue in the name. He's a god, or something that wants to be a god. Continue to march to the Seven's beat, and I'm sure you'll find out exactly what he is. They're all the same, you know. Tyrants, liars, carrion birds. The best thing would be for them all to destroy each other and leave the rest of us to live in peace. My efforts continue. I must admit it's quite an intricate piece to work with, even for someone like myself. I remain confident of success, though.
Expert warriors for hire. They won't let you down.
I'm afraid that exploring this island would only consume precious time that I need for my work.
The golden-haired woman in front of you casts an appraising eye over your attire. Slowly and deliberately, she winks at you.
Isn't the sea breeze marvelous, darling? I mean, aside from that rancid smell. Oh, mind my manners. Welcome to Four Sisters, the sole distributors of sorcerous sundries in all of Rivellon. Now, don't be shy. Tell me, how can I help you? Oh, darling. Malady invited me, of course. She said you'd need all the help you could get.
She looks around with a gleam of horror in her eye.
And it looks like she was right. Oh, how sweet of you. My sources tell me she was able to get away from all that unpleasantness before it was too late. She should be traipsing to safety as we speak. Please tell me that my dear sister equipped you well with sorceress sundries. Oh, that makes me so happy. Nothing is more important to four sisters than happy customers. It would be honorable for me to do the same then, wouldn't you say? Come closer so I can tell you. A little closer. Perfect. In the race for my heart.
She looks deep into your eyes.
If you passed the admirer in second place, what place would you be in?
The look she shoots you would curdle even the freshest milk.
Nice try, but that's not it, darling. In the race for my heart.
She looks deep into your eyes.
If you passed the admirer in second place, what place would you be in?
The look she shoots you would curdle even the freshest milk.
In the race.
She looks deep into...
If you passed the admirer.
She blushes a crimson red.
Oh, you. Flattery won't get you a discount. But I'll give you another go, Mr. Cheeky.
She shoots you a dangerous smile, all teeth and peril.
Looks like you can spot a winner just as well as I can. For that, you can have a slinky little discount on sorceress sundries. Oh, now you'll make me talk business. It's our sorceress sundries, of course. Our little miracles can sharpen weapons, harden armor, and brighten jewelry. Truly the products for those in the know. But I'm sure you're already in the know. So soon? Oh, that's too bad. It gets so lonely here.
Hello. This island is something else, huh? I'll bet I can find many interesting ingredients here. Sure thing. I'll start hunting that down right away. Don't wait up.
This place is turbulent. I can feel the ground quake and the seas boil. Be on your guard here.
Plenty of fighters for hire. Oh, I see you have a...
bodies have been purged.
Who could have done this?
I suspect we shall soon find out.
Before you stands a shrine of a particularly strange design. You've seen machinery like this before, in the cave beneath the Black Pits. Here too, the apparatus thrums with power and seems to pull you in. You're a young magister, devoted to Dallis. You fight alongside paladins. The Order united in battle, fighting the Black Ring, as in the Great War. It's the proudest moment of your life, and then it's the last.
A magister, dead on the beach. What a surprise.
The seaside doesn't suit them, does it? I fancy a swim.
You need a bath.
Black Ring. Could they be doing the purging?
The plot thinnens.
I've never seen ruins like these.
You don't get out much, do you?
As if from nowhere, a sweating warrior appears before you.
You were late, Bonebag. The Divine Order pigs be here at the temple. Kill him.
He points you towards the nearby temple, where a skirmish continues.
You have your orders. Get to it. Then get you out to it. Now!
with you.
The spirit of a Magister brandishes her sword in one hand, while the other is clasped to a wound in her side. She throws a hasty glance over her shoulder.
There's too many of them. Get the bishop to the Elven Temple. We'll hold them off as long as we can.
She turns her attention forward once more, her eyes darting between foes in several directions.
bishop. Wait, Alexander is here. This elven temple may warrant investigation.
You frown with surprise. Alexander vanished along with all the others when the Lady Vengeance breached the Hall of Echoes. You assumed he was dead.
Perhaps I have misjudged humans. Alexander seems as immortal as I.
Oh, won't he be ever so happy to see us? This is going to be extra fun.
Has as many lives as a cat, it seems. Let's see if he acts like one when cornered.
The spirit of a Magister priestess swipes her staff in wide arcs through the air. She turns and spots something.
Wargs! Sir, watch out! Get away from him, you foul creature!
A ghostly cacophony reaches your ears, the snarl of a beast and the screams of a man. The priestess lunges forward to help someone unseen. There's another scream, cut short by a wet crunch. The priestess falls backwards, clutching a severed arm in paladin garb.
Magisters and paladins, fighting alongside each other. A rare sight indeed.
White-hot pain, fangs sinking into you. A Magister appears and offers her hand. You reach for it, but there's a loud snarl. Warm blood soaks you. Then, darkness. The spirit of a paladin stands before you. He shoots you a hostile glare.
Get away from me, Blackwing lackey!
Fight then for underlings. And you shall have more. You may even kill a Godwoken if you can find one. Maybe even old Alex himself. Don't get ideas above your station.
How spectacular. Did you see the light fade from their eyes? Their expressions as they passed from this world?
The necromancer looks wistfully at one of the bodies.
To experience the transcendental, There is such beauty in it all. You don't think so? You don't find that moment when life and death weigh equally on the scales just fascinating? Perhaps that is to be expected from lesser creatures, but it intrigues me. What must it feel like to slip away from this world and into the next? I wish I could feel it. Just once before our God King raises the faithful to immortality, before the chance is gone forever. Well, yes. Aren't you curious? I want to experience that moment, that fleeting moment as soul and body float apart. Of course, our Lord will resurrect the faithful when he himself is reborn. For us, death is a temporary inconvenience. So, perhaps you could perform a service for your betters and inconvenience me? Give me that gift. Because suicide is a different matter entirely. If I were discovered with my own hand on the blade, my right to eternity would be revoked. Our Lord prefers his servants to be useful to the end. But if it was your hand, well, you aren't even initiated. What could you possibly have to lose? I am not some court-martialed dog. I would never kneel before the likes of you, especially not in my last moments.
He reaches into his robes and pulls out a dagger. Its long, thin blade looks wickedly sharp. The necromancer grins as he hands it to you and pulls aside the cloth covering his heart.
Here, strike true, and let us see what awaits me.
He gasps in shock. The knife pushes through flesh, muscle, chips a rib, and enters his beating heart. He falls forward, clutching at you.
Oh, my.
His hands curl around your neck, and as his eyes meet yours, he opens his mouth to speak again, and the light fades from his eyes. You pull the gore-covered dagger from his chest, and his body slumps to the ground, limp and still.
I felt it. The moment when soul and flesh parted ways. It was like my hair was being ripped from my scalp, like my skin was being flayed from my body all at once. I have never felt such horror. It was exquisite.
With twinkling eyes visible through his helm, the Reaver offers you an apple, shiny and red. It is perfect in every way. He shakes his head and points to your mouth, beckoning for you to open it. Once more, he offers you the shiny red apple. He holds the apple to your lips. It feels not cool and dry, but warm and wet. He squeezes. Liquid, warm and coppery, fills your mouth, drips down your throat, spills onto your chin. You realize a nearby magister has had his heart cut out, and the Reaver's gauntlet is blooded. The Reaver begins to laugh. He proffers the glistening heart once again. But then he withdraws it with a chuckle and a wagging finger, as if to chastise your greed.
Get your soft ass to the camp and report. Do it now.
The warg snarls at you. Its muzzle is stained crimson with the blood of its enemies, its flank with blood of its own. The hilt of a sword protrudes from its back.
I kill you, snake meat!
The warg growls louder, arches its neck, and opens its jaws around your arm. The warg's jaws close upon your arm. You feel the pressure of its fangs upon you, but there is no pain, at least not yet. The warg whimpers as the blade slides free, then slowly, carefully releases your arm.
Today I not kill you, snake meat.
And licks your face. The altar stands before you, flecked with moss and the cracks of age. An ant crawls across the surface, dipping in and out of the inscription that's engraved on the rock. In honor of Ralik, first of the gods and patron of humanity. As your prayer drifts away on the breeze, you feel the world around you shift. You open your eyes to a courtyard with wooden targets and practice posts scattered about. And there before you stands Ralik, a twisted old man struggling to heft his own sword. With difficulty, he lifts it high, cutting down towards one of the targets, but he misses completely. His sword clangs against the cobbles, slipping out of his hands and skittering towards you. Cursing loudly, he crawls towards you, searching hands running over the stone. He's blind. He hears you as you step forward and lets out a cackle.
One of the others sent you, eh? Sent you to pester a poor man that has lost his sight?
He snatches it back from you, but seems more likely to use it as a support than a weapon. He approaches, running his hands over your face.
Solstice's champion, are you? I'll give you what you need to find the Well of Ascension. But I need a small favor in return. 2 small favors, really. I want your eyes. After all, what is a warrior without his sight? Give me yours. I assure you, they will be put to good use in the war against the Void.
Your god leaps forward, knocking the frail old man sideways. Rallick gets to his feet, grabbing a shield emblazoned with a burning sun, and backs away defensively. The image fades, leaving only the symbol of the sun dancing in your vision. You slowly come to your senses at the temple, where chittering birdsong fills your ear. A black ring captain stands before you. She looks remarkably ordinary, you think, as far as black ring go. But then you hear a voice inside your head.
Tell me who you are, or I will kill you. And do not doubt me, for I tell the truth.
Her expression does not change. She cannot read your mind, but you can read her face, and you see she grows impatient.
Tell me who you are, or I will kill you. Then they may live, for now, that they may kill the divine pigs and kill the Godwoken, kill them all, and then perhaps they die and rise again.
An undead reaver lifts a clay goblet of wine and drinks deep. Only the wine trickles out through a hole in his side a moment later. He glances at you with a shrug.
Force of habit. Life will taste good again once the God King's victory is sealed. I don't need confidence. I have faith. The God King restores the injured, resurrects the fallen. I lay dead and forgotten until he brought me back. He rewards the loyal.
The reaver utters a dry cluck of disapproval from the desiccated remains of his throat.
Your mistress should have enlightened you, thrall. The God King is the true king. The so-called seven gods betrayed him and cast him down. Now it's time for him to rise again. Wine is wasted on the living, but life is wasted on the living. The God King will change all that.